the social media were the best way to maintain the conversation with our guests, with our targets.
We have a very, very special guest coming up right now, Giovanni De Nisi. He works as the marketing manager for a core luxury hotel sector across Italy, Spain, and Greece, with a focus on identity development, event management, and market analysis, which is really interesting right now to have you on because the hotel industry has obviously been affected the most. So first of all, Giovanni, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody. And first of all, thanks for inviting me. And thanks to Yossi and thanks to Crescenzi and Co. And I listened your speech before, Maria Cristina Iaselli too, and I completely agree with your thoughts and your strategy. And what I can say, as you know, the tourism is one of the most affected market by pandemic. So now we are going to find the right way to communicate, to promote, and to wait to the people when they can start to travel again. And as you told before, now the brands are the possibility to choose in different platforms, different social media platforms. So brands can choose their right platform depending or of the target, depending the message, depending the content that the platform can spread. So, and during the pandemic, we in the beginning we stopped all campaigns, we stopped all communication because people was afraid, and it was not good to communicate and to invite them to travel, of course, because it's banned to travel. And
Very
but
insensitive.
yeah, but after a few days, we understand that the social media were the best way to maintain the conversation with our guests, with our targets, because they start to ask us about the closing hotel, about the reopening, and of course about the refunds of the stay. So the social media was a perfect a channel to communicate directly with um, with our guests. And I suppose that the Instagram, for instance, is one of the best way to communicate for with especially with luxury brands, because remember, hotels don't sell a real product you can take home, you can buy and take home. We sell an experience. So we need to maintain a special relationship with our guests, with our target. And social media is complying with this focus, with these goals, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's really interesting because obviously, the hotel industry is a massive industry, and we're all very excited to start traveling soon, hopefully again. But it's interesting that you say how important social media was to you right now as a hotel brand, and how you figured out to create a strategy that is still maintaining the customer journey, the customer relationship. So that actually brings me to the first question for you, and I wanted to ask you, like, talk, like, aside from the point end where I ask a question and you answer it on social media, let's talk about that journey. Like, what is the importance, in general or specifically for you, what is the importance about social media right now within the customer journey, not just the touch point?
Yeah. When we talk about hotels customer journey, we talk about five steps journey. In the beginning, we talk about inspiration, then research. People need to find an inspiration for the next travel, for the stay, for the destination. And the second step is research. What I mean, research is when people find information about cost, about travel, about flight, about what they can visit in the destination. The third step is booking. So we have the customer on our website or booking.com or what else, but at the end they book, and the stay, of course, and post stay. Along this journey, we can find different touch points. Touch points are the points where we can influence the customer. We can touch, and so we can influence their choice. And social media for tourism and for hotel chains brands are very important, because we can create a very important touch points when we can to influence the people. And for instance, when I think an important touch points, if Instagram, just because we talk about it, Instagram is an important touch point in this decision, in this customer journey, because customer can take inspiration by the influencer post, by a friend's post, by advertorial post, of course, because Instagram now allow to use advertorial, to use Instagram stories with app. So is a very integrate tools that brands can use to promote an experience in this case, of course. And as I told before, luxury hotels are more impacted about this, because when we talk about luxury, we talk about sometimes about poshy, sometimes about something of a very special, something that we dreams with a luxury experience. So I think is the customer journey. In the customer journey, social media are one of the most important touch points. Yeah.
Right. So, so a question for, oh, sorry, Luca, please.
No, no, no. It's just it's interesting because this union of online and offline experience is always something that one of our participants asked in the question. So and it's
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm looking at the questions I was going to ask him, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that one's
no, no,
answered.
no.
That
So
one's
I was
answered. Like,
no, it's something that we are going to talk later, but the phygital experience, now what it's called phygital, so the mix of
physical
physical
and
and
digital. Yeah.
digital, it's something very, very important, and it's not something so abstract like it may seem with the word phygital. It's something very concrete, and for example, in the user experience, in the user journey, for example, for a brand like yours, that it's an hotellerie brand, I mean, more brands, it's something that it's phygital because there are an online experience, but also an offline experience, and the two things are talking together.
At the same time. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, yeah. So just to continue this same conversation here, because we're talking about the customer journey, we're also talking about social media being really really vital. So you've touched on how Instagram is a really great place for you right now. Obviously, brands can live on social media in a lot of different ways. I guess what my question would be, as a brand, as a hotel who is representing, for in your case, the luxury brand experience, like what type of content is working best for Accor at the moment? And my question is like, did you have to change your marketing strategy before and after, or has it always just been about selling luxury, selling the experience, selling the emotion?
Yeah, and to answer your question, I started from your second question. The strategy. Yes, we changed something because in this period we understand that people, first of all, needs to be insured. So we talk about our safety protocol, for instance, because brands like M Gallery or Sofitel or Pullman, very luxury brands hotel, needs to ensure their guests that they can stay in their hotels in completely safety. And in this case, I'm proud to say that Accor, for instance, developed an additional internal protocol, something called All Safe. But the point is that we start to ensure them, and after we create a dedicated campaign to spread the positive vibes, because we call this campaign reignite the love to travel. So okay, we we promote our hotels, of course, but we spread a good vibes, because people need good vibes in this period to fight this virus, to fight this a very depressing situation. And and we decided to talk about the hotels more than the brand. I mean, the brand is important, but people don't care about fake communication or too much promotional communication. They are interesting if they have to travel. They need to know the hotel, the service, and so we talk about this. And
So you mean,
to
sorry to
answer
cut
my
you off. So
question,
you mean that you mean that brand is important, but just selling people every second you get isn't the right thing to do.
yeah.
I understood.
Yeah, yeah, because I can imagine a brand advertising spot, but maybe people don't be care about this because for them in this moment the focus is on my care, on my wellness, and on my family. And if I have to travel, I need the essential information.
And
Mhm.
that's it's such a great point, like, you know. And just to continue on to what you're saying right now, just to talk to everybody about brand and communication. This is the big question that I ask a lot of companies that I work with. If you take your product out of the conversation, what are you saying? What content are you sharing? And a lot of big companies too, they struggle. They go, well, what do you mean? We're a product. If we're not selling you a product, then what do we have? But Giovanni, if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is you know your brand so well that you know the emotional touch points. You know what is creating value for the people that stay at your hotels because you've had that mapped out. So having such a strong brand for you, it sounds like it's easy to not just focus on selling, but actually focus on what your customers care about when they're not in your hotels, like making them feel good, their wellness, their safety, you know. And I think that I just wanted to focus on that just because I want people to understand that it's social media. Yes, obviously you want to sell stuff. That's why we have businesses, but that's not the whole point of social media. You know, marketing is in sales. They're kind of combined, but marketing is that long brand conversation so that when you're making them feel good now, when the world opens up, everyone says, oh, wow, like they weren't selling me every chance they got. They actually made me feel really good at a time where I was sad that I couldn't travel, but they made me look forward to it and they made me feel better about myself, which when we move out of this is just going to end up being so great. So I think that the strategy that you're talking about is really great. And I wanted to stop you for 1 second to add that because I think a lot of brands and businesses get really confused between selling and branded marketing.
Yeah, yeah, completely. And to answer your second question about the content, just to come back to my first thing is I think Instagram for actually for the moment is one of the best platform because we can use the tools they use the imaging video is a platform that generates a very higher engagement rate than the other platforms. And then this is very important for us because engagement rate is the line we can check the engagement with our guests. And you remember that now 100 people 100 million of people use Instagram. So I think that the next step can be to use the integrate platform as the doing platform, Chinese platform, where is an integrate platform. I mean, you can use this app to share your content, your video, but user can just tapping on the screen can linking on the widget booking widget of the hotel. So if I engage an influencer and he posted a video inside my hotel, one of my hotel. User can just tapping on the screen can book.
That's interesting. Yeah, that opens up the type of content you can create, right? That's really interesting.
Yes, so I think that for the moment,
the platform I was talking to you, Yossi, yesterday.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I want everyone to listen to
the Chinese name.
No, it's great. And like, you know what? I want everyone to listen to. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Doing is called doing.
Doing, yeah.
Yeah. So something that you mentioned that I found really fascinating is that, you know, if everybody just listened, like, this isn't just putting a post or sharing an advertisement and then clicking, which then takes you to the shop, which then you go through it. You know, we're talking about new platforms emerging. So imagine if you were watching TV and you saw a commercial and you could just click the commercial and all of a sudden you're buying the product. This isn't just a reel so that's really interesting. I really think that's really interesting.
That platform, because Gianni, I've seen that platform a few days ago on a TV on a TV program. I didn't remember the name, and it was crazy because it was so easy. There were so many people, influencers, but also not influencers, and it was so easy because you were watching your screen and seeing people selling everything, because a girl was selling a rocket, but not a rocket, a toy.
For the moon.
Rocket.
An actual rocket, like a rocket.
And yes, he managed to sell a rocket, and it was incredible because it was so easy. Click and you buy everything.
Amazing. So we have to get going, Giovanni. We have about a half an hour left. I want to make sure we get some more questions and get to our next guest. But thank you so much for joining us. Really, your time is very interesting. Yeah, and is there anywhere that aside from LinkedIn, is there anywhere that maybe people can find you or find the hotel chain? And
yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Gianni De Nisi, or Instagram, Gianni Den, but LinkedIn is better, I suppose, for business trouble. So I can answer your question, of course.
And the brand is Accor, and the specific brands are M Gallery and
Pullman.
Pullman, that are the best choice.
I wait you on my hotels.
I can't wait. Trust the second that this opens up, I'm at all your hotels, not just one. I promise.
I have experienced. Me and Michele, we have experienced two of them in the past years, and it was an experience. So.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. You have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.